Hey you, all of New South Wales! This is Auspol Explained. I'm your curly-haired host David, as always, and today I'll be explaining to you how to vote in the New South Wales state election. As always, this is to do with how you fill out your ballots, why there are two, and how it works specifically for New South Wales, which is different to other states and federal elections. Who you vote for is entirely up to you. Don't ask me, ask your heart. Look deep within yourself and go, who should represent me? Who do I like? It's up to you. Also, if there is any questions you have that aren't answered in this episode, or if anything is out of date, please double check and go to elections.nsw.gov.au for all your official information on elections, both state and local, in New South Wales. The New South Wales Electoral Commission is your friend. Their website will help you with so many ways on how to vote, where to find your nearest polling place, or do a postal vote and vote early if you need to. The link is in the description. Now, let's metaphorically dive into the pool of knowledge, and so you know what you need to know, while also being wet with understanding. No. When do elections happen? New South Wales state elections happen every 4 years on the last Saturday in March. Where do you vote? Polling places are usually at community buildings like schools, churches, public buildings, etc. Why are there two ballots? There are two pieces of paper, also known as ballots, because there are two chambers of Parliament. The small piece of paper is for the Legislative Assembly, that is the lower house, and the large one is for the Legislative Council, also known as the upper house. Before anything can become a law, it needs to be debated on, voted, and agreed upon in both chambers, which means they are both equally important for who's in there and who represents you. So, ballot number 1, voting in the Legislative Assembly. It's pretty easy. New South Wales is divided into 93 areas called electoral districts, or seats. Each seat has a similar amount of people in them and is represented by one person. So you are voting for the one person who represents your area in the Legislative Assembly. Then whoever gets more than half of those 93 seats in the Legislative Assembly is the government, and their leader is the Premier. To find out which electoral district you live in, go once again to elections.nsw.gov.au. Your ballot will have a list of names of candidates with their order randomly assigned vertically. To vote, you write 1 in a box next to the person you like the most. That is your first preference. Sweet, easy peasy lemon squeezy. New South Wales has optional preferential voting, which is different to federal elections and other states. Optional preferential voting means that you can choose, optionally, to write more preferences if you'd like. You can write 2, 3, 4, etc., so long as you have just at least one. It's still compulsory to enroll to vote and then vote, but the bare minimum is writing 1 on your ballot. And then beyond that is a choose your own adventure game where you count up from 1 or not. Again, it's optional. Preferential voting means if no single candidate gets more than 50% of the first preference votes, then the least popular is eliminated and the second preferences are counted and so forth until a winner is found who has more than half of the vote. But if you don't put a second preference on your ballot and your first doesn't win, well, then your ballot, just like me after a brief run, is exhausted. That means because you don't have any preferences to count, it cannot be used to further determine who would win. It's up to you whether or not this is good or bad. It ensures that your vote cannot go to someone who you did not put a number on, but also the less preferences you have, the quicker your ballot might be exhausted if your first and only preference did not win outright. Or potentially your first preference wins outright anyway, and it doesn't matter. Who knows? Again, it's up to you how you choose to vote. Terms for Legislative Assembly members are 4 years long. Voting in the Legislative Council is a little bit different because it elects multiple people at the same time. The Legislative Council is commonly known as the Chamber of Review because while it can introduce bills and legislation, its main job is to review the decisions of the Legislative Assembly. The government almost never has a majority in this chamber, so who represents you in here is still very important. Also, because the way of electing members works in this chamber, you're more likely to see a mixture of minor parties and independents. There are 42 seats in total. However, New South Wales's Legislative Council isn't divided into smaller areas like the Assembly is, but instead the entire state is one giant electorate where the same pool of candidates is voted on by everyone in New South Wales regardless of where they live. That's why it gets large. Terms for members of the Legislative Council are 8 years in length. However, they have staggered half elections. So in one election, 21 of those seats are up for election, and then in 4 years' time at the next election, the other 21 are up for election, and that just rotates back and forth. So everyone in the state collectively is deciding who those 21 people are. There will be a thick line running across the ballot, and you'll vote in either of two ways, above or below the line. To understand this, I need to quickly talk about grouped and ungrouped candidates. A group refers to two or more candidates who are running together, so usually means a political party, but doesn't need to. If the candidate is registered for a political party, then it will say so on the ballot, and independents can choose to have the word independent printed next to their name in certain circumstances. So the box for a group will be located above the line. All the candidates running for that group will then be below that line in descending order, right? With a list of names and boxes going downwards. Ungrouped candidates are shown in the right-hand side of the ballot in a column or columns. So please read your ballot to make sure that the people you want to vote for are preferenced above others. Voting above the line is pretty simple. You put a 1 in the box for the group you like the most. That means your preferences will go from the candidate in the top of that column downwards in the order listed. That's all you need to do, right? Once again, it's optional. You may number more boxes, 2, 3, etc. above the line. And remember, if you are voting above the line, make sure all your numbers are above the line. It is one or the other. It's also important to remember you control your preferences, right? If you just vote 1 above the line and none of the candidates in that group get elected, your vote does not go to anywhere else. That is it. Parties cannot control your preferences. That is an outdated idea. Stop thinking that. Stop it. Stop it. You control your preferences. Voting below the line is pretty simple too. It just requires a little more numbers. To vote below the line, you mark at least 15 boxes from 1 to 15. You do this in any order you want, so this means you can vote for candidates within a group or party in a different order than top to bottom. You can include a single person from one group but not the rest, or if you want to include ungrouped candidates in your vote, then you would choose this option. Once again, you may number more than 15 people if you like. You can fill out the entire thing, every single box. I don't have a joke here to help you remember like the number, so I'll just yell it. A minimum of 15. 1 to 15 with the option of more. Hope you remember that. And again, any box you do not put a preference in cannot get your vote. Once your numbers have stopped being marked, that is where your ballot ends. And there you have it. Best of luck. Have fun voting, research the candidates ahead of time, enjoy democracy sausage, and if you make any mistakes, don't worry, you can talk to a friendly election staff member there and they can give you a replacement ballot if need be, or just further instructions. If you have found this useful, please share with other people in New South Wales, or if you'd like someone in a different state to know about optional preferential voting, feel free to brag a little. Thank you so much. Share, subscribe, comment down below what you would like to know next, all those sorts of things. Thank you to my supporters on Patreon, and I will see you in 4 years' time.